All right. Hello, friends, and welcome back to another exciting episode of The Divine Speaker. Last time that we were here, we were having some strange thing where there's like nobody in town. I still don't understand that. We're having a nice little conversation with Emil where he revealed he didn't kill Nikos like I thought he did. And now Caspian's here, and I assume we're going to have a whole nother conversation that has nothing to do with any of that. So let's get into it and see what Caspian wants to say. The door swung open and Caspian stepped in.
Caspian, I've made my decision. I think it's time for me to go home.
I expected as much. What about your friends?
I guess they were too busy.
Yeah, where are they? Where is everyone? I looked towards Leos and smiled, glad to have him at my side. He smiled in return, but I could tell something was off. Caspian frowned, a crease forming on his forehead.
They didn't say goodbye, did they? There's time to find them first, you know. You don't have to leave in such a rush.
If you're leaving with me, then we're going now.
Okay, Emil, come on.
Emil, have some sympathy.
Yeah.
If he wishes to waste time over such things, then he's free to. I'm not waiting around.
He left the building first, not even turning to check if we were following.
Sorry about him. He's always been a little moody. It's just gotten worse with age by the looks of it. Why don't you two take a minute to say goodbye? I'll deal with Emil.
Caspian followed him outside, leaving me alone with Leos.
I suppose I was wrong after all.
Looks like it.
It doesn't happen often, so you better savor it.
Leos,
Don't say goodbye.
Why?
I don't know if I could take it.
Okay.
Then I won't say goodbye. Because this isn't goodbye. I'll be back.
At some point, he reached up to place a hand on the top of my head. He ruffled my hair lightly before moving his palm down to my cheek. And then he pinched it. Hard.
Hey!
Isn't this all a little too emotional?
I thought we were having a moment.
There will be plenty of time for moments later. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That was so like Leos. He gets so easily embarrassed, he can't help but cover it up with sarcasm. There really was no need for any lengthy goodbye, yet a heavy feeling sunk over my heart. Is this the right choice? There was an awkward air between Caspian and Emil as we prepared to depart, as if they both had something they wanted to say to the other, but neither wanted to be the first to speak up. The streets were still bare, darkened by the overcast sky. What is up with that?
Well, I guess this is it.
I wanted to say something to Leos. Anything, really. Even if it wasn't a goodbye, it felt like it was. Will I really see him again? I opened my mouth, but I felt as though there was a lump in my throat, and nothing would come out.
Leos!
Fancy seeing you here, Emilius.
Okay, first of all, who are you? Secondly, I didn't know Emil was short for anything. With hair as dark as night and striking red eyes, an unknown man suddenly approached, smiling widely at Emil, who just stared back in confusion. That's who I thought it was gonna be? Who is this guy? His stance was casual and collected, the kind of person who could go anywhere and look as if he owned the place. Instantly, I felt a prickle at the back of my neck.
That voice.
Instantly, Leos took my hand and pulled me behind him. He stood between the mysterious man and me, frowning deeply.
Do I know you?
Okay.
That hurts. How could you forget your mentor that easily? After everything I've done for you?
I'm okay.
My oh my, I think I might just cry.
My teacher is long dead. You stand to gain nothing by pretending to be him.
And who do we have here? Rain, isn't it? The new young master speaker. Oh wait, just an orphan, right? I definitely see Emil in you. So bright-eyed, so easily controlled. I think we'd get along very well indeed.
I'm confused.
You!
He stepped to the side and Caspian went skidding to the ground. With a laugh, the black-haired man shrugged his shoulders.
We're getting out of here.
Wait, what's going on?
You're the one that approached me, aren't you?
Ah, Leos. I almost didn't notice you there.
How do you know my name?
Oh, how cold of you. I've known you since you were a baby, and that's the kind of treatment I get.
Leos tensed up in front of me, squeezing my hand tighter by the moment.
Kind of stupid joke are you trying to pull? Don't bother trying to bullshit us. You couldn't possibly be him.
Guys, there's no need to be aggressive. What's going on?
Really? Well, I guess I need to have a word with myself then. Just what are these memories that plague me? Oh, I can see it as clear as day. Our young master speaker, trailing behind the princeling, forever in his shadow. The two of them sneaking off into the forest and... Oh, what's this? They come back to chaos, to death and destruction. Please, tell me, if I can't be your mentor, then who am I?
Some guy?
Oh, fledgling prince, I should thank you. At least that woman you brought back was good for something. Her aim with the blade was phenomenal. I died nearly instantly.
You couldn't be. How?
Okay. I feel like I'm coming up with an understanding. There is something happening in my brain.
You son of a bitch. Didn't do enough damage the first time around, and now you're back for more?
My, you certainly do prattle a lot, don't you? I was graciously presented this body, and I'm not one to turn down a kind offer.
Please, I'm begging you, tell me it's not true. You didn't do it, did you?
It? What? Help the royal family meet their demise? Of course I did. You were an idiot for thinking any differently.
Damn, okay.
No! I trusted you. Everything I did, everything that happened, it was because of you. If not for you, he and I, we never would have.
Could have lived happily ever after? Don't make me laugh. You were an accident waiting to happen. I just gave you a nudge in the right direction. It's not my fault you're gullible. Honestly, I thought you and the fledgling prince were closer than that, but I guess not. You two were so easily broken apart. Well, that's just how it goes. Kings and speakers have never gotten along.
Not unless I have anything to say about it.
Just, what are you?
He laughed, ignoring Caspian's question.
I've enjoyed following you around all these years, Emilius. The way you've suffered, it's delicious.
Gross.
It's just a shame that you've always been such a disappointment. Why didn't you go through with killing Rain when I told you to? One command from you, and he could have been hanging within minutes.
It was you then. That loud voice that boomed over the others. The one that followed me outside of Aurelia Cavella.
Perhaps it was, perhaps it wasn't.
I mean, come on, you're being so straightforward with everything else.
Why are you here? What do you want?
He nodded his head, and 2 people stepped out from the shadows. Okay. One with... oh no. One with blue hair, the other with blonde.
Fawn, sign!
What have you done to them?
Shh. They're sleeping. You wouldn't want to wake them, would you?
You'll let them go now if you value your life.
I can't say I do, actually.
Okay. Letting go of me, Leos was in front of Lucius in less than a second. He raised his hand, which already clutched a dagger that glinted in the afternoon light, and swung it at the man, who easily caught his wrist. Oof! He smiled at Leos, an uneasy smile that made me feel sick.
Let go of him!
You fucker, what are you playing at?
That's really no way to speak to your superior.
You mean nothing to me.
After everything I did for you,
I don't know you!
your judgment, my work, your upbringing, a simple command to your parents, and they did exactly what I asked. I created the ultimate killing machine, one without feelings, who would serve me forever.
Well, I mean, you may be slightly wrong about that, perhaps.
Well, that's what was supposed to happen.
Okay.
But I died, and you... you ended up somewhat of a failure, didn't you?
I mean, sounds like you failed twice. So, is it really their failures or yours? Just like that, his wrist was released, and he stumbled back towards me. I quickly caught his back and steadied him, glaring daggers at the man.
He's not a failure. You know nothing about him.
Whatever you say, Leos. There's an empty place at my side if you take it.
As if I ever would.
Not afraid of your destiny anymore?
Huh.
Deep down, you're just as heartless and cold as I am. These people don't matter to you.
You're wrong!
I stepped in front of Leos, whose back looked as if it had begun to shrink before my very eyes. Oh no, he suddenly seemed small, fragile, as if every one of this man's pointed words were hitting their mark.
Should you really be trusting someone with so much blood on their hands?
Yeah.
I trust him with my life.
You shouldn't. He's hiding things from you, just as you're hiding things from him.
Don't lie to me!
The man shrugged, as if he didn't care what I had to say.
Here.
Something metallic spun slowly towards us, and Leos easily plucked it easily. Oh, he easily plucked it easily, huh? From the sky. A dagger, as dark as night. Running down the blade was a symbol and a few characters.
My family crest. How?
I wonder. Take it as proof of just how well I know you.
I looked back towards Fawn and Sign. Both of their faces were absent of any emotion. I waved my hands at them, but neither responded.
I think these two will come in handy later, but for now... I'm really sorry, but the 3 of you are in the way of my plans. Really, I apologize for this, but I can't let you live, okay?
Okay, damn.
Okay. No, it's not okay.
Sorry, I wasn't asking for your permission.
One step at a time, he made his way closer to me. He wasn't like Varus, not even like Nox. No, he was far more powerful. The air came alive around him, crackling. I took Leos's hand in mine again, looking around desperately for anywhere we could hide. Anything I could do. There's only one thing I'm any good at, okay?
Run!
Pulling on Leos's hand, we turned and broke into a sprint. I could see Emil and Caspian do the same behind us, and we quickly turned into a dark alleyway to escape the black-haired man.
I don't think so.
Find somewhere safe.
Ooh, okay. Nice.
Varus?
Hey, don't worry about it, just keep running. In a swirl of pink and green, 2 people stood between us and the black-haired man. Oh my god, I love this.
Ilron, Varus!
This is becoming a habit, isn't it? Swooping in at the last moment to save you.
Listen, I knew about the Nox save. I did not know about this one. I love it. 10 out of 10. Thank you so much. I stopped. No, don't stop. I stopped in my tracks, pulling Leos to a halt.
For once, I'm glad to see you.
Wow.
Oh, be still, my beating heart.
Thank the gods it is. What are you doing here?
We noticed something was wrong and searched for you. I'm sorry we took so long.
That's okay.
No time to talk, though. Run along for now, and we'll catch up later.
Okay, be careful.
I don't think.
No one asked you.
Damn. Okay. We all turned around and ran. We weren't sure exactly where to go, but anywhere was better than there. We rushed out of the alley, back into the bright, open street, but we came face to face with someone I hadn't expected to run into, okay?
Zarin!
Alright.
You all seem to be in quite the rush. Is something the matter?
Yes. He looked between our faces, from Leos's face, which had turned into a deep frown, to Emil and Caspian's, who looked as if their world had come crashing down around them.
Something indeed seems to be the matter. Quickly, let's return to my lab.
Okay.
Thank you.
The harrowing smirk instantly fell from his face as he looked at the two that stood in front of him, ruining his fun.
What do you want? You're getting in the way.
Who are you? What have you done to those two?
Why do you think you have the right to appear in front of me? Two people so insignificant as you. A washed-up, powerless god, and a domesticated fox with his tail between his legs, following along quietly.
You were asked a question. Who are you, and where did you come from?
So demanding. I suppose I can play along for the moment. If I had to pick a name, well, might as well go with my old one, Lucius.
Lucius. I can't say I've heard of you.
Damn, you ain't nothing. Burn.
I would think you haven't, since I ascended after the gods were locked inside of Aurelia Cavella.
Okay, he's new.
What are you the god of? What exactly are you governing?
Isn't that obvious? The god of all gods. The one that will finally whip this world into a state worth ruling.
Okay.
Being speaker not enough, huh?
My ambitions are much higher than that.
He's not lying. I've never met someone with so much power in their aura. So that's like confusing because I would have thought because he's so powerful, he's older. But he's saying he's like younger, he's new. So what's up with all the power?
I'll kill anyone that opposes me, including the two living speakers. Can't have them messing up my fun, can I?
What about the gods trapped in Aurelia Cavella?
Oh, them? Let them rot. I never liked them much anyway. Always yelling and screaming over just a little torture. I'll build a new world where they aren't needed. New gods can take their places and rule beside me.
What, ones that will agree to serve you?
If that's how you want to think about it.
Elrin's voice was full of anger, barely contained.
I'm sorry, but I can't let you do that.
Oh, and what will the useless god do about it?
I don't wish to fight, but I'll fight if I must.
Oh? Oh no?
Ilron!
Well, that was easy.
Okay. It happened before Varys had the chance to act. A flash of light came flying at him, but it didn't hit its mark. It hit Ilrin, who reacted almost instantly, jumping in front of the peach-haired god. Oh no.
Ilron, what are you doing?
I'm fine.
Are you sure? Before him, Varys was graced with the very thing he dreaded more than anything else, and he felt powerless to stop it. He ran forward and took Ilrin's hand, pulling him away from Lucius and in the direction that Rain had fled.
Run all you want. There's no way you can hide from me.
It's not looking good if Ilrin and Varys have to run away from a fight.
You idiot! What were you thinking?
I owed you one. You took that hit for me in Oxabor. Don't tell me this is what makes you finally lose your cool. It's not that bad. It'll heal right up.
Are you sure about that?
And what if it doesn't? You're too reckless.
So are you. If this were the other way around, you would have done the same thing.
I heal much faster than you, Ilron. It's my job to protect humans, not the other way around.
I try not to sweat the details.
Ilron, I can't handle this. Please, if something happened to you because of me...
What difference does it make? I'll die eventually anyway. And I'd rather it be for you than something boring like old age.
Varys' fingers tightened around Elrond's, and he brought the other's fingers up to his mouth and pressed his lips to them.
Please, Ilron. I don't ask much of you, but please don't die.
I really hope his next line is, I'll try not.
Well, I probably can't stop it in the long term, but I'll try my best to survive this one, at the very least.
Good job. To Varys, this was his worst nightmare. The one who meant the most to him. The one who changed his life. In pain. Because of him. His life was so short. So fragile. To a god that's lived for thousands of years, it would already pass by in only a moment. The idea of that being cut even shorter. Tears soundlessly rolled down his face, but he kept running with Ilrin in tow, desperate to find rain. Speaking of rain, Zarin's study was much as I remembered it, warm and inviting and unlike what I imagined a lab to be like. He quickly shut the door behind us and lit the fire, while Caspian and Emil collapsed on the couch.
What exactly is going on?
Oh, you know, the end of the world.
I don't know where to start.
I frowned, a worry deep in my heart for Ilrin and Varys. Yeah, I mean, you should be.
I think he was the speaker, wasn't he? The one that died. Lucius.
Both Caspian and Emil froze up at hearing his name.
It couldn't possibly be, could it?
Yet he knew too much. He spoke just like him.
How could he possibly be alive?
There's no way he lived. I saw him die with my own eyes.
Yeah, it's definitely him. His voice may have changed, but the sneer in his voice hasn't.
Okay.
You really did know him?
I would hear his voice through my door, talking to my parents.
The door was thrown open with a thud, and Varys stumbled in, barely holding up Ilrin. Blood was dripping from his shoulder, and his face was a mask of pain.
Please, I need a bandage.
You probably need a few more than just one bandage, but okay.
Ilron. Varys. Let me collect Titus.
Titus, that's his name.
Don't! You shouldn't get involved with this. It's far too dangerous.
Bitch, I feel like we need everybody we can, but okay.
Then leave it to me. It's been a while, but I'm still a healer nonetheless.
He rushed into a room further inside the building, leaving me alone with the others. Varys carefully set down Ilrin on an armchair facing the fire, his face filled with terror.
What happened to him?
Just a light scratch.
Yeah, just a little thing, don't worry.
He attacked us. I couldn't react fast enough. Oh, shit. Ilron, please be okay.
For once, Varys lost his composure, swearing as tears formed in the corner of his eyes.
I can answer your question.
Please, just stay quiet while I try to patch you up.
He's a god. He either forcefully took that body, or someone offered it to him.
Well, it sounded like somebody offered, but...
God. But how? Isn't he human?
Zarin came rushing back into the room. Or is it Zarin? I think the emphasis is on the Tsar. Zarin came rushing back into the room, his arms filled with tinctures, bandages, and other healing items. I always thought of him as too calm, too collected to rush, but it turned out I was wrong.
Ilron, you better start explaining yourself, and quickly.
Varys took some of the supplies, and the two of them began to patch Ilron up. His shirt had already begun to turn deep red, and I had to look away as they examined the wound. Both Emil and Caspian looked between each other, unsure of who these newcomers were. Quickly, I explained everything in short, who and what they were, how they'd helped us before, even as far as talking about gods and demons. Ilrin added to the conversation, finally telling the truth to Zarin. They were stunned quiet the entire time. Of course, Emil already knew the gods existed. He spoke to them on a regular basis, but he had no clue about the Aurelian War, or the gods falling and taking mortal bodies.
All this time, exactly what I was looking for was right under my nose. A god walking amongst us.
I apologize for keeping it a secret, Zarin. It wasn't my intention to deceive you.
You were only protecting your way of life. I would have done the same.
I'm sure Titus would be disappointed with me.
Nonsense. You know he's always idolized you, as he will continue to. I won't tell him a thing.
Okay.
Thank you, Zarin.
He frowned deeply, as if something on his mind was troubling him.
If I don't return, promise me. Tell him I'm proud of him.
I think you had best just return. But I can do that much. Now, tell me of this Lucius. What did he look like?
Tall, dark hair, red eyes.
The advisor to the king himself, or his body at the very least.
Okay.
He was always the power-hungry type, and it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if he offered his body up to a demon. With the power that comes from his position, he could have had the city in the palm of his hand easily.
No.
But I won't leave him unchecked. I'll report to the king and try to keep him under control, at least until you can figure out what to do.
Zarin, thank you.
Now, back to the topic at hand. I suppose it's about time I told you the truth. We aren't born as gods. We all ascended from mortal beings after our deaths.
Mm-hmm.
What stops someone from becoming a god then? Can anyone do it?
No, it's those that have a widespread influence. That could be for good reasons, of course. A person loved by the world and remembered passionately might ascend and become a god. But the opposite is also true. Enough fear and hatred does the same thing.
Fear and hatred? That's all he ever was.
He's powerful. More so than any other god or demon I've ever met. Nox looks like nothing next to him.
He pressed some medicinal plant into Ilrin's wound, and he gasped in pain.
I don't have the power to oppose him. No one in Sid Caeham does.
I trusted him more than anyone. I thought... But it was him. The one that chased away the massive voices always swirling around in my mind. The one that followed me out of Aurelia Cavella. If only I had control of my abilities then.
Gods can attach their souls to a human without taking their body. It's unreliable and leaves them powerless, but it's doable. It's a way for them to survive without a body, and without dying.
Okay.
That's it.
It's the same as the voice you've been hearing, isn't it?
Okay. All right.
Exactly. The woman's voice that has been calling out to me in my dreams since I left Aurelia Cavella. She must have been the same. She warned me that someone's been following me. When I saw the speaker, I thought it was probably him, but it was about Lucius, I'm sure of it. And he was an Aurelian god too.
I think you could be right. She was trying to help you, to protect you.
She's gone now, though.
She might have drawn Lucius to you if she stuck around. But if she's not connected to you, then...
Don't jump to conclusions before we know all the facts.
You're right. I need to think about this properly.
He thinks himself a god among gods. If he's left unchecked, he'll have all of Sid Caeham in his palm before we know it. And if this is anything to go by, he'll get rid of anyone that doesn't agree. Namely, the two speakers in the room.
You knew?
We had an inkling, but we weren't sure until Lucius confirmed it.
With a bandage wrapped around Ilrin's arm and chest, Varys finally let him go.
Ilron, you are a pain in the ass. But a pain in the ass I find somewhat useful occasionally. You won't die to something as trivial as this.
That's good.
Of course not. Who do you think I am?
He smiled half-heartedly, but anyone could tell that he was in a lot of pain. Varys became quiet, a serious expression on his face. The silence stretched out until he finally turned towards Emil.
You're Emil, the speaker, aren't you?
Me? Yes, I am.
You know the gods are trapped within Aurelia Cavella, don't you?
No, allow me the chance to explain. After I took over from Lucius, I had to learn everything myself. Usually he would have passed over all his knowledge and secrets to me, but seeing as his death was rather sudden, he didn't have the chance. Yes, I knew they were angry. Trust me, I heard them. But I didn't know why. I didn't know how to fix it. Enough voices and it just becomes a sea of meaningless noise.
That's valid. I can understand that.
I see.
If that asshole is allowed to live, then they'll be stuck there forever.
But what could we possibly do? Even Varys couldn't stop him. What chance do the rest of us have?
I'll go alone to save Fawn and Sign if I have to.
I don't like that idea.
Oh, and here I thought you didn't care about them.
I care about them a lot more than I'll ever admit. But you'd best forget I ever said that if you want to walk away with your life.
Okay.
I won't let you go alone.
Ilrin and Varys paused for a moment, thinking to themselves. It was like they didn't need to speak to communicate with each other.
We'll help. On one condition.
Okay. Both of them turned their attention to Emil.
If we help, you'll let the trap gods go, and agree to never force them to stay there again.
Emil looked towards the ground. Ever since Lucius revealed himself, he looked lost.
Of course I'll agree.
What's the plan then?
If we're going to take him down, we'll need more people. More gods, more demons, anyone that'll help.
Well, so far we have a god demon in a coma, so I don't know how that's really going to help us, but there we go.
You said there wasn't anyone in Sid Caeham powerful enough.
No, there's not. The only thing I have to go on is rumor. I've heard whispers of a village hidden in the mountains, where gods have found refuge. I don't know if it's true, but it's the best chance we've got.
And as far as I know, from what I understand of that conversation, there's at least one coming down? Memories came back to me of Zarin in the journal we found. A hidden village.
What are we waiting for then?
Well, it's hidden in the middle of a mountain, so if you just know where it is.
There's just a small issue. I also heard that they don't care for the quarrels of mankind. Even if we appeal to them, they might turn us away. They live alone for a reason. They hold no allegiance to any of us.
And if they say no, How will we make up that travel time?
I know we can do it.
Zarin, I'll entrust Ilron to you.
Oh no, we're not gonna be able to see him.
I know he's troublesome, but you can leave him with Titus.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
What?
You're not in any state to be hiking up a mountain.
I don't care. I'm going anyway.
We just talked about this.
I'm not letting you go without me.
Oh no. Oh no, I kind of want to agree with Ilrin. I want him with us. But I'm afraid if I say I want him with us and something happens, that he'll die. But then also, like, what's gonna happen, right? I feel like once we get there, we're among friends, right? I think I'm gonna do it. I believe in him. I believe that nothing bad's gonna happen. I'm gonna agree with him.
He's injured, but he's too invaluable to leave behind, isn't he?
At the very least, he can just be the team heart, you know? He's there for emotional support at the very least.
I know that. I really do, but...
Varys, I'm not staying here. Not with so much on the line.
Varys' stone expression turned soft, and he reached out to touch Ilrin's face.
You really are far too reckless. But I know there's no stopping you when you have your mind set on something. Okay, you can come. But if it becomes too much, then you're to come straight back here.
That's agreeable.
I won't make any promises.
Okay, come on, Ilrin.
I know.
I'll keep your visit here a secret.
I can never apologize enough for putting you in so much danger.
Nonsense. This is exactly the kind of thing I specialize in. However, I expect you to come back and allow yourself to be included in my studies now that I know the truth.
I thought I saw Varys flinch, but Ilrin quickly reached out and squeezed his hand gently.
What kind of studies?
Talking only. Your experience may help to save Soren and Nox.
Varys instantly relaxed, a gentle smile coming to his face.
And of course I'll agree.
Good. If you're to be on a journey, then take these extra medical supplies with you.
Okay.
This is all well and good, but it isn't my place to get involved anymore. This really has nothing to do with me, so...
You think you're such hot shit. You're coming with us. The fuck, my dude? You're in this.
Stop being such a coward!
Rain. Fucking tell him. Oh my god.
All this time, I heard tales of the charismatic Prince Caspian, about how strong he was, how everyone looked up to him. So where the hell did he go?
Go off. Oh my god.
This doesn't just concern you. It concerns everyone. Every single person who lives in Sid Caeham, in Aurelia Cavella, those in Stagwich and Oxabor, everywhere. Do you really not hold even a shred of care for your people anymore? Have you just given up?
No, of course I care for them, but...
You don't need to finish that sentence. You can end it there just fine. If you still care, then you'll come along and fix this with us.
I don't have any choice, do I?
Absolutely not. I'm so proud of Rain. Oh my god. Varys packed away the medical supplies and helped Ilrin to his feet. He swayed a little, but stood up straight, quickly.
Be careful while we're gone, okay?
I always am.
Zarin returned to one of the back rooms while everyone else quickly left, leaving me alone with Leos. Hey.
I guess you were right after all, huh?
I usually am.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Deep down, even though everything had turned awful, I felt some sense of relief. I wonder why.
I'm happy I'm not going home yet.
Yeah, that's valid.
Yeah, me too. You really are always getting yourself into trouble, though, aren't you?
That's what I have you for. To get me out of it.
Rain, there's something else I wanted to talk to you about later, okay?
Of course. You can tell me anything.
My mind wandered back to what Lucius said, that we were still keeping secrets from each other. I trust him.
Good. We shouldn't leave the others waiting.
We quickly left the study behind and rejoined the others outside. We snuck down side roads and alleyways on the way to the gates of Sid Caeham. It was probably pointless though, seeing as the streets were completely empty. Still, what is up with that?
What has he done to everyone?
He couldn't have gotten to everyone. Are they hiding?
I don't know.
We passed through the front gates, but no guards stood watch this time. Outside, the sun was already setting, and a deep, chilling cold was settling over the land. We all pulled our clothes in tight around ourselves.
You know, this is the first time I've heard of this secret village.
I didn't want to speak of it without being sure, but I hadn't had the chance to investigate yet.
Is there a reason you didn't look for it? Couldn't you have stayed there?
Well, I suppose I could have, but to me, it was never an option. They might have decided to remove themselves from humanity, but I didn't want to give up.
The conversation faded out, and for a while we simply followed Varus through the growing darkness. The snow was deep and cold as we moved off of the path and into the wilderness.
Are you okay? Should I carry you?
No, I'm fine.
Are you sure? Because you sound like you're struggling.
I can't just keep going and pretending nothing's wrong, though. Hey, you.
Me?
Does it look like I'm talking to anyone else? I know all about you and the things you let happen. Don't think you'll get off lightly if you don't stop whatever's going on in Azeros.
Wait, what? How do you know about Azeros?
Oh, Rain, by the way.
Fuck.
Get wrecked, Ilran.
There's no point in keeping it a secret anymore, Ilran.
I'm from Aurelia Cavella. Well, originally.
What? Then you...
I thought you were from Sid Caeham.
My mother and I fled when I was young.
Valid. Okay.
Why?
He looked towards Emil with a pointed expression.
For fear of punishment from the Speaker, what else?
What? Why?
I snuck into Azeros.
Okay.
I wanted to visit my grandparents, but my father said that I couldn't. I was curious. I thought a single peek wouldn't hurt. I just go in, say hi, and get out of there. Of course, I got busted on the way out by my father, and he dragged me through the streets to report me to you.
That sucks. Like, specifically by your father? What a shit dad, okay?
So my mother grabbed me and ran.
I owe an apology to a very important friend of mine that I left behind and never thought I'd see again.
That sounded pained, my dude.
Well, all I can do is hope he'll accept it.
Same.
I'd never.
He frowned, overcome with the realization that, yes, he probably would have done something about it.
I'm sorry.
Don't waste your breath. What you should be sorry for is what's going on in there.
What do you mean? Isn't it just where they're rewarded?
It's a factory. They're all food for the trapped gods.
I mean, like I said when I first started playing this game, 1000% all these old people getting sent to this other town that they can live in and be rewarded. That's the farm you take your animals to when they die, you know, and you don't want to tell your children, oh, don't worry about it. They just went to the farm to go live on the farm, you know? 10,000%. I told you. These old people are getting sent to the farm.
Leos, did you know about this?
I knew that bodies had to be moved out, but I never knew it was something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
You changed your clothes.
It's true. It was a practice put in by Lucius just before he passed away.
Okay.
I remember he told me that the king had put him in charge of it.
So he knew. Maybe he didn't know that he was going to die as soon as he did, but he definitely knew somehow that he was going to die and become a god. And this is how he's become more powerful, is all the old people we sent to the farm.
And after he died, the voice told me to keep bringing the elders there. With all of this new knowledge, I can guess who was telling me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he had some insight into what the future held, and he set it up as a means to make himself more powerful after his death. If so, it's no wonder he's so powerful.
Why do I bother saying the things that are on my mind when I just know that the characters are going to say it directly after I do?
I always knew he was a creepy, evil bastard long before he became a murderer. If you just listened to me back then.
Hindsight is 20/20, my dude.
I never thought he was like this. How was I supposed to know? He only ever showed me kindness. I just thought he was a little misunderstood.
You should have trusted me like I trusted you.
Did you really?
You? Why would I trust someone that would abandon me so easily?
How many times do we have to have the same conversation? I didn't abandon you, you know that!
The ice returned to Emil's face, and he shot daggers at Caspian. They bickered back and forth, forgetting that anyone else was even there.
Just get a room already. No one wants to hear your lover spat.
And if Ilrin says it, you know it's gonna be true.
Lovers spat?
Oh, Rain. You sweet, simple child.
You only argue like that once you've slept together once or twice.
Ilrin. They both shut up instantly. Caspian faced forward and walked on in silence, and Emil's face grew redder by the second. Oh. This is how it is. What? Wait, seriously? They were a thing?
You two. Did you really?
I'm sorry you have to figure this out about your dad like this.
Now's not the time to talk about something like that.
Uh-huh. I mean, valid.
I don't wish to comment.
Mm-hmm. Caspian, my father. And the speaker? Why is that so difficult to imagine? Not to me.
Isn't this sweet, then? It's like a little family reunion. The Cabbage Patch Kid and his two dads.
I cut off his coughing because he cut himself off. His sarcastic words broke off into a raspy, loud cough. Varys wrapped an arm around Ilrin, steadying him.
Take it easy.
I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
Mm-hmm. Said in the most ghastly voice in the world. Varys gently stroked at Ilrin's messy hair before letting go. He didn't go far, instead staying at the green-haired man's side, as always. With Caspian and Emil arguing on one side and Ilrin and Varys speaking quietly on the other, I was finally left alone to talk to Leos.
Leos. Is he?
I think so. I really thought he was dead all this time.
You should talk to him.
I will. Later. When I catch him alone.
I don't Oh, okay. I didn't know who we were talking to at first, or talking about at first, and I was like, I don't like that idea. Yes, you should talk to him. I think it'd be really nice.
There's something else I wanted to ask. When Lucius approached us, you said you recognized his voice?
He lowered his voice to a whisper, making sure I was the only one that could hear him.
That day we met Caspian and I left alone. A man approached me and told me he could overturn my fate if I killed the speaker.
Kill him?
Shh! Keep your voice down. Obviously, I didn't do it. The guy was suspicious as hell, but I can't say I wasn't tempted.
Leos, whatever some guy in the sky decided your life should look like, that doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
The same applies to you, you know.
I should learn to take my own advice, shouldn't I?
Whoa! Whoa!
Okay. What's going on?
Ilron!
A weight hit my back and I fell to the ground with a thud. Elrin.
Sorry, kid.
Ilron, this isn't like you. You really have to go back.
No. I'm fine. It's dark. I tripped. It was an accident.
Interrupted from my discussion with Leos, I tried to help Ilrin to his feet. I don't know, that was like a questionable accident.
I think...
Oh? A bright light took up my vision, and I suddenly felt dizzy and sick. Luckily, I was on the ground, or I would have fallen over and hit my head. No voice rang out. Instead, the light spread to every corner of my mind, before disappearing into nothingness. In its place was a fiery, aching pain in my chest that made me lose my breath. Oh, well, thank you, Rain, but I'm not sure it was really needed. I just understood what was going on. Yeah, that's gonna hurt like a bitch, my dude.
Ilron? Rain?
By the way, it hasn't happened in like forever, but...
Rain!
Leos rushed forward and threw Ilrin off of me before helping me to sit up. He watched as my shirt became soaked with a dark red liquid. Oh boy, now we're gonna have to heal that.
What did you do to him?
I didn't do anything.
You.
Emil and Caspian, who were walking slightly ahead, called out to us from the darkness. When we didn't respond, they quickly found their way back to us.
What's wrong?
It hurts.
What did you just do?
Oh, you know, just a little bit of healing / taking your pain.
Can someone please explain what's going on?
So Rain has this ability.
It's gone.
Ilrin pulled off his shirt despite the snow-driven cold around us and ripped off his bandages. Everyone looked from him to me, then back again.
Don't just stand around. He needs bandages.
Leo stared down at me with worry in his eyes as he applied pressure to my wound. It ached, and I wondered just how Ilrin managed to make it this far.
Yes, sorry.
What the hell is going on?
Well, you see, Rain has this ability. I completely forgot about it. I should have told him earlier. Not like this.
I don't know. It's just something that started happening after I left Aurelia Cavella. I was able to heal other people's wounds, but...
I looked down at the deep red stain.
But this happens.
Why didn't you tell me?
It wasn't on purpose, I promise. I didn't know how to bring it up.
So you didn't trust me after all?
No, Leos, no.
Leos, that's not it. I promise.
It doesn't matter. I shouldn't have expected you to think I was trustworthy in the first place.
No.
Leos, please.
Isn't this a surprise?
I think I'm beginning to understand. His ability allows him to heal others at the cost of his own life, right?
Mm-hmm.
This injury is Ilron's.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
This could be dangerous in the wrong hands. Can you control it?
Absolutely not.
No.
It's your gift as the next speaker, if they can even be called that.
Okay.
My gift? Can you?
It manifests in different ways depending on the person. I can't do anything close to that.
So what can you do? Varys pressed herbs into my wound that first burned before making the area go numb. He wrapped it in bandages after stopping the bleeding, and I quickly dressed again. It still ached numbly, a constant pressure that made it hard to breathe.
Rain, you should go back. We can handle this alone.
Did I just trade Ilrin for Rain?
No way. I can deal with this. Just fine.
Are you sure about that?
Then we can at least spend the night here and continue tomorrow.
Okay, in the middle of a snowy outdoor landscape, sure. I shook my head and stood.
We don't have any time to waste.
You heard the kid. He's got some guts. I'll give him that.
Perhaps the two of you aren't so different after all.
That's not a compliment to either of us, you know.
Come here.
To my surprise, Leos knelt down in the snow in front of me, waiting for me to get on his back. Okay.
Are you sure?
I might change my mind if you make me wait any longer.
Okay. Carefully, unsure of if I was even allowed to touch him or not, I settled onto his back and he picked me up with ease. Emil stood apart from the group, awkwardly. When he saw me stand, he turned to leave, and we all hurried to catch up with him. Leos walked carefully, making sure not to bump my shoulder or go too fast. Even though I kept a secret from him, he'll still treat me like this. I rested my forehead against his shoulder, desperately trying to stop the tears from falling.
I'm sorry.
Leo stayed quiet, but I could tell he was thinking hard. The walk was long and arduous, but that just made me all the more thankful to have Leos. At times, small talk passed between us, but the majority of the trek was made in silence. The darkness, combined with the cold, made us all shiver and draw our coats close to us. Even Varys was wearing shoes for once. Wow, I'm proud of him.
Are you okay walking in that getup? You're not really dressed for climbing mountains.
I'm just fine, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you, I don't know, wear something more normal looking?
This is all I have, okay?
Okay. Like, even when you were in Aurelia Cavella, you own one outfit, that's it. Emil shook his head in a huff, ignoring Caspian.
We aren't far now if the rumors are true, but before we go any further, there's something I want to tell you all.
Okay.
What is it?
My face clouded over with worry, but Varys smiled easily and calmly, as he usually did.
Maybe this is selfish of me to mention, but for me, this is my final trip.
What?
Elrond's eyebrow twitched, his eyes cast away from us.
For hundreds of years, I was lost, until I found my purpose.
Helping the Aurelian gods.
He nodded.
I will find them, and I will free them. I'll forever be grateful to Ilron for guiding me down this path. Once they're free, I will finally be able to move on in peace.
Move on? Where are you going?
To that farm where you send all the grandparents.
With closure, I'll be able to pass on, free of guilt.
We will never see you again, then.
His smile faltered for a moment, and a hint of sadness flashed across his face.
I'll always be thinking of you all.
I don't know how it works exactly, but I guess if he were to leave his human body, he'd just fade away, like the gods hundreds of years ago.
Ilron, won't you be lonely? What do you think?
It's not my decision to make.
Although I couldn't see his face, his voice was more serious than usual. More restrained.
Wait a second. Look.
Through the thick trees up ahead was some kind of light. Hidden, but barely visible.
If we're looking for a hidden village, I'd say we found it.
And you know what I've found? The end of the episode. We're a little bit over an hour, but I didn't know where to stop this. We were having so many conversations, so many just like important moments in this episode. It's hard trying to figure out where we should end it. But this seems like a good spot, perhaps. And so I'm going to take that chance as I could. Definitely a lot of like storytelling here, a lot of the secrets or just like behind the scenes facts coming to light, and us getting a bigger understanding of what exactly is going on here. I'm really enjoying this story so far, the fantasy elements and just like the plot in general. And I hope that you guys are too, but I do need to end this episode eventually. So, thank you for watching this episode. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next episode where we'll find the hidden village, I guess. That seemed to be a lot easier than I expected it to be. But we'll see it then.